Well, we're back. And mate, you were just telling us a bit of a story. How did you get into catching these snakes?
Well, I suppose it's a little bit of a long story. I started off as a trapper. I used to... I tell you,
there you go.
my phone never stops, so... Hang on a sec.
We're in the meantime,
Cairns Snakes, this is
we
David.
were just discussing about the possibility of, or how easy it is for snakes to get into something like this. Now, I've set my swag up heaps of times, exactly like this, laid out in the ground. What do you reckon the possibility of a snake getting there is?
Heaps.
Have you ever heard of a snake getting in?
Yeah, I've climbed into my other single swag and I've had a snake at the foot of me thing and I shit myself and took off real quick.
George,
when I was a bit
have you ever
younger.
had one in your swag?
I've had my own big one.
No, but one that
Oh, come on,
No wrangling that snake, mate.
that you couldn't handle.
Mate, I know you just had a phone call
Sorry
to go
about that.
collect one, but we've
So we're actually talking about a basic camping rig, right, Dave? So someone's just set up in the bush. When is the most likely time that an animal, a snake, would go into a situation like this? Under what sort of circumstances?
Well, they can really go in there at any time because we've got daytime snakes, we've got nocturnal snakes,
Right.
even some of our daytime ones, if they've been out
Yep.
and they've gotten a little bit too hot.
Yep.
It looks like a nice little shady spot to go
So
crawling.
they're seeking shade?
Yeah, because snakes being cold-blooded can also overheat very quickly.
Right.
So if he's been out sunbaking and then it's like, okay, I need to go for some shelter, into an open swag, under a tent, or even into a camping box.
You reckon they'd crawl into something like that over there?
Certainly.
So they could crawl up those little set of stairs, no worries, and hide in your
Definitely.
underneath your chair
Definitely.
or-
So do you ever
Definitely.
get call-outs for having to get snakes out of that?
I have had a call out for a snake in a camper trailer probably about a month ago.
Yeah.
Where they must have brought it back from where they were because they got home. They decided to open it all up to clean it out, and here's Joe Blake in there.
Yep.
I've also had a couple of cases where people have come home from camping
Yep.
and they're going through their boxes of gear,
Yep.
and they've had things like black-headed pythons, which aren't native to the Cairns area,
Yep.
turn up on their front lawn. That's like, well, where did that come from?
Right.
And then they've said, oh, we've just come from somewhere like Palmer River, or
Right.
so it's hitchhiked a ride home with them.
So this scenario with a swag on the ground, you've had a few to drink, you crawl into it late at night. Have you ever heard of that scenario?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I suppose
maybe
if
this weekend.
I suppose if you crawl in there and you feel something cold sliding up your leg,
Yeah.
it's time to get out.
It's not what you think it is.
Not a good situation to be in.
So then, what's a bloke to do?
Well, bail.
Seriously?
Get out of there real quick.
Bail and you're sleeping on your own.
So this whole thing about standing still or being still or nah.
Well, the standing still thing comes about when the snake is on the move and you've encountered each other and you're too close for comfort. But I suppose if you slide into the bag there, I suppose you could lay still, but, you know, have you... being contained or confined together in the one spot,
It's not an ideal situation.
yeah, it's a bit of a difficult one. I suppose if you're prepared to lay there and freeze, but you know,
So, George, you wanna lay there?
I bet
George,
you
get
not
the
one
swag.
person would sit there and go,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm just going to lay here for a bit. Nah.
I'd be getting out quick. But I suppose if it's at your feet or something like that, or you've stepped over a log, and you've encountered in a situation like that, definitely freeze.
Yep.
And be still is the best thing to do.
So what about in terms of prep? Long clothing, socks, those sorts of things are going to help rather than sliding in the nutty.
Oh, come on, what's wrong with that?
Nothing except you might get bitten by a snake.
Well, no, not really, because I mean snakes can still bite through your pants.
Right.
I suppose the best bet would just to be vigilant to start with.
Yeah.
Be aware and check your surroundings before you go, and you know, like the golden rule when you're camping is always keep it zipped up.
Right.
You know, keep your tent shut, keep your swag shut.
George, golden rule, keep it zipped up.
What if you're slightly intoxicated and you just lay her out and then off you go?
Well,
Would we
You-
find ourselves in a situation where something could crawl in there and
You certainly could. I mean,
so I'm a good candidate for that then.
if you hit the piss early and don't set up properly, well, that's the price you pay.
Well, that's true. That's true.
So seriously, it's just zip it up, keep it zipped up, and you're going to be reasonably okay.
Definitely. I mean, a prime example happened to me where we were out off one of the islands offshore and we were fishing, and 3 of us were sharing a tent.
Yep.
Anyway, one of my mates decided to leave it unzipped.
Yep.
And he didn't get bitten by a snake, but he copped a big centipede on the side of the face.
Nice.
Centipede. That's a
Where,
different.
yeah, big thing, about 10 inches long
Yep.
it was, and
Yep.
it bit him right on the cheekbone. And we were like 40, 50 nautical miles out offshore where
Yep.
we were, so he just had to whinge and sweat it out type thing.
Do
But
you
that
know-
was sheerly from the tent being left undone.
Right.
That pain would have been pretty.
Oh, he was
Pretty intense.
he was squealing.
So, do you know what the stats are for people heading up here and being bitten out camping? Is there any good stats on that?
I mean, there's plenty of stats on how many people end up in Cairns Base Hospital with snake bites.
Yeah.
To what they were doing or where they were, well,
Yeah.
I wouldn't know about that. But I'm sure there would be a certain percentage of them where they have been bitten while camping. But I tell you what, you know, you have your first aid kit. You
Yep.
should never go anywhere in the bush without a first aid kit.
Yep.
And
Which,
if-
by the way, they can win. We've got a Cairns. We've got a snake first aid kit.
Snake bite first
Snake
aid.
bite kit?
Just
Yeah.
a little kit.
Yeah,
with your
okay.
bandage
Little
and
kit.
everything in
So
it.
you got to like this post. Give us a comment. You go in the draw for that.
Definitely all the good.
Yep.
And I tell you what, if you want it to be 100%,
Yep.
have an EPIRB with you.
Right.
Just in
Okay.
case of a
That
big
way,
emergency.
that way, if you've been hit by something really serious and you're quite remote, help will get to you quite quickly.
Scott, have you you ever encountered snakes in your travels in your moonmobile? Sorry, your Earth
But I
camper.
nearly trod on one on Monday.
Really?
Yeah, I
Out
was-
at Machin's.
No, I was out. I was hiking up to the in the Barron Gorge,
Right,
up
okay.
to the tablelands, and
Yeah.
there was one just in a sunning itself
Yeah.
in the sun early in the morning, and just a little one. And
Yep.
so that sort of made me concentrate a bit more.
Yeah. So the takeout from this is keep it zipped
And he
up.
zoomed away pretty quick.
Definitely, because I mean it's a great hidey hole for not just snakes but spiders,
Yep.
all sorts of critters. Where I suppose imagine if you slid in there in the midnight hour and there was even a grasshopper in there.
Yeah.
That'd make you move.
Yeah.
When you felt that rubbing
you get a
against
bit
your
of
leg.
So George,
We did just put one in here.
no.
before.
Speaking of moving, you're going to hop in.
Oh, yeah, I was about to until I noticed that there might have been. So we put one in here before, right? We've just opened up the top layer of this, as you would. Now, there's no way you'd know there's anything in there. It doesn't look like there's anything. Is he even still in there? Where
in there.
did he go?
He'll be down that back corner.
Right there.
Oh, there he is. So there's no way you'd see that trying to get into your swag.
Definitely not.
No. So you're pretty much buggered from the get go if you got a dangerous one getting in there, aren't you?
It's not a good
Or-
situation to be in, that's
Yeah.
for sure.
So, and they're going to find the tightest spot,
You're okay.
Well, yeah,
or they're
usually.
not just going to like
They're
spread
gonna-
out
they're
and
gonna
take it
try and
easy.
Protect themselves and hide in the corner. I would.
Well, I mean, if it's night time, it's not going to have to go to so much trouble to hide. It'll just sort of slide in there type thing. If it's a during the day thing, yeah, the darkest corner type thing, or even the coolest place. Every situation's different, but I mean, when you're talking snakes, like we harbour the most deadliest snakes in the world, and you really can't stress enough that you keep your tent zipped up, because you really do not want to be in there with something like, say, a brown or a taipan.
Because it's going to wreck your camper trip pretty quick, isn't it?
Well, it can kill you.
That's going to wreck
Yeah,
your
that wrecks
camper
your
trip.
camper trip pretty quick.
That will ruin your day, and
Ruin your day and everyone else's.
and everybody else's as well.
So, what's your track record with taipans here at this year in this town?
taipans are pretty rare here in Cairns.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, maybe half a dozen of them over the last decade. So we don't see a lot of them.
Yeah.
But certainly, because being in the city is a lot different to people camping in the bush.
Yeah.
Camping in the bush, you're in their backyard, so you've got more opportunities to see snakes than what you would in a domestic or commercial environment.
Which
Yeah.
is it's a fair call then, isn't it?
Yeah, so but that issue's always there, so be aware,
All right.
be
So,
cautious.
should we try and get him
Can we
out?
pull this fellow out and have a bit of
Yeah,
a
yeah.
squeeze at him?
Right, well, let's see what we got first, eh? What'd you put in here?
I don't know, you're about to find out. Something that doesn't want to leave. Oh, he's under the doona.
He was all the way up here, he's heading out the hole.
Oh, he's pissing again.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He pissed in his swag, mate. So what kind of...
This is an amethystine python, or commonly known as a scrub python. This is the species that you may have seen in the paper or on the news that grows to like 6 metres and as thick as a 2 litre Coke bottle and eats the family dog and all that sort of thing. So this one...
But I mean, it'll still give you a nasty bite, right?
Oh, it's not venomous, but it'll bite you.
Yeah.
It's got about 160 hook-shaped teeth in its head.
Yeah.
So if you annoy it, it'll bite you.
Right.
Are you annoying it right now?
Well, it's probably not real impressed with me having it in a vulnerable position like that. But he's not too bad. He's not,
Is he just a wild one?
he is. I've just picked him up on the way here where he was in somebody's lounge room.
Yeah, righto.
So where do you take them once you have them?
We take them back to the bush.
Right.
So we take them up into the hills, find a bit of a creek system or a waterway, or hang on, I'll turn around for you so you can smile for the camera.
I'm gonna have
No,
No, he's a bit
not real.
he's a bit shy today.
I think I'm a bit shy today as well. But yeah, he's good. Thanks.
Right.
All right.
He's
So
he's had his fun time.
in a household situation,
Have a hole.
these are. I mean, how long have you been doing this for, Dave?
About 18 years, 19
Right.
years.
Okay. So do you find you're learning something new every week, or is it something that you're used to?
Oh no, I tell you what, when it comes to dealing with wild animals, they never
Yeah.
cease to amaze.
Right.
I often say nothing's set in stone,
Yeah.
and just when you think that they're not capable of doing something, they
Yeah.
will.
Right.
So never underestimate them.
Yep. So when are you right to call someone like you? Like, people shouldn't just try and move this out with a broomstick or something?
Well, we always say never try and catch or kill a snake.
Yep.
Certainly you can have situations where the snake's been misidentified, where you think it's something else and it's not.
A harmless snake compared to a venomous one.
Yeah. So, and it's very easy to mistake some of them because a brown tree snake can look very much like a taipan.
Yep.
We would say if you're not 100%, call for advice.
Right. Okay.
And most of the time, if you just leave a snake, well, I've seen them before. Sometimes caught them, but if it's sitting there, you just leave it and it'll stay there without harming it until you can come and collect it safely, obviously.
Snakes usually don't really want a confrontation with you if they can help it.
Yep.
So if you're not interfering with it, you'll be fine. I suppose it's a bit of a different situation if it's in your lounge room because it has to go,
Yep.
rather than it being on the back fence at 10 o'clock at night
Up in a rafter somewhere.
yeah, just leave him
just
be
chilling.
and...
And most of the time he'd be gone by the morning anyway, and he's off on his
Usually.
travels. So,
Do you want to whack him in a bag? Is there
Just watch that because it's...
I'm going to shout out to Andrew Berth from Morgan, South Australia. Cheers for looking at me snake.
guys, remember, give us a like and a comment if you want to go into the draw for the snake first aid kit. Can someone grab that for me off the table? That'd be great. Dave, do you have like one more that we can look at that's
he's
slightly
a bit-
different?
You rush for time, aren't you? I don't want to.
alright.
I don't want to push you, mate.
Have you got something that George can hold?
Yeah.
George loves them.
Not really.
No, you might.
Not without risking a bite.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Hey,
alright.
you'll be right.
It's only a snake bite.
No.
Oh,
This here is called a keelback.
Right.
This is
that's
this is a
nice.
freshwater snake. This is one of our only reptiles that can eat toads and stomach the poison.
That's a pretty impressive.
So really a good snake to have around.
Pretty impressive stomach acid system.
This is nearly fully grown, so he's actually got small snake syndrome, and he is a cranky little devil.
So he's
He
cranky
will
now,
rear
is he?
up and come forward and have a crack at you, and
Right.
if you annoy him, that is.
Poisonous? On the
No,
bite?
it's non-venomous.
But he could eat a toad.
He can eat a toad up to about 50-cent piece in size,
Yeah, righto.
or smaller.
I need him in my pond at home. Eat all the little.
So they're actually up here in the north. They're probably quite a good snake to have around.
They are, because they got their work cut out for them
And
eating
just
toads.
to limit the toad numbers around.
They will get a little bit bigger. They probably get about maybe 20-cent piece in diameter, and maybe 20 centimetres longer than this guy. But they're not a big snake to start with. But they'll come in assortment colours from grey to black to gold to bronze, grey head, bronze body, black head, all different combinations.
He's shiny, isn't he? That's impressive.
He's a beautiful snake.
There's a freshwater snake.
All right. Well, cool, Dave. Thanks heaps for coming in. Does anyone have any questions they want to ask?
I do have one question.
Yeah.
Saltwater snakes. Are they as
Sea
venomous?
snakes.
Sea snakes, venomous as proposed.
Oh yeah, there's a fair share of sea snakes that are extremely dangerous.
They are,
Yeah. Really one of those things that don't muck with snakes in general, land or water.
Yeah, no, I've just been up the river there and seen a fair few of the sea snakes coming by, or they'll try and jump onto the back duckboard of the boat quite quickly.
Yeah, just
And
depends. They're a bit like land snakes, where not all of them are dangerous,
Yep.
but the
But
ones
it's
that
definitely-
are can be extremely dangerous.
Yeah, right.
All right, can we wander back in there for a sec, and we'll just do a wrap up, George? If that's all right.
Well, it's been a pretty exciting little afternoon with some snakes and flash tent setups. And like we said before, guys, in regards to camping and snakes, give us a like and a share, and let a few of these kits go out to you. They're good to sit behind your car.
So, Dave, if anyone's got any issues, they just give you a call.
Yep, we're 24 hours, 7 days, and we service Palm Cove to Gordonvale to Coranda.
Right. And Scott, thanks heaps for coming in.
thanks,
We're
I
all
enjoyed it.
really jealous.
Yeah, I want your truck.
Yeah.
Definitely want your truck. That's something to work
your
towards,
trading deal,
George.
mate.
If you missed the first round of this afternoon's broadcast, we examined Scott's amazing camper, which
we
is
did
out there.
an all-round look at camp setups,
Yeah.
and we went from the base system to the best system.
Yeah.
So
So cool. Remember, if you want to win this, it's a first aid kit for snake bites. You got to like this and hopefully leave a comment, and
it's
we'll
actually
do
a
a
pretty
draw.
good little image, isn't it? Look at it.
It's cool.
Is that you getting squeezed?
That's what happens when you don't call a snake catcher. You get cuddles. Cuddles that you don't want.
No, much appreciated for coming in, mate. It was good to see a few snakes and a bit of an insight on, well, getting yourself not bitten by snakes. And
Pleasure to be here.
so no, cheers, guys, and thanks everyone for coming in today and having a good afternoon.
And have a great long weekend.
Yeah,
If you
and
have one.
see if you can't win yourself a snake kit.
Cool. Thanks, gents.